Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Breskman Cosme. I'm a level 3 QHHT practitioner out of the beautiful Florida Keys. And I've just been getting bombarded by so many amazing sessions. And I really wanted to share what's been coming through. Just so you know, the latest update of what has been coming through, I thought I would share this most recent session because this client asked a lot of the questions that a lot of people come with. So I thought I would share, the answers. So anyway, this takes place at the end of the session. And I started speaking with her subconscious or higher self, whatever you want to call it, that part of her that knows everything about her and is able to access all the information that you could possibly want. And it was obvious that there were other beings coming through, so that had messages. So I'm going to include that. So anyway, we start with, I asked, who am I speaking with? And they say, we are a team of beings. We are a part of her guidance system. You could call us light beings. And I ask, what kind of advice would you like to give humanity as we go through this chaotic time? They say, we see this as such an opportunity for change. And as chaotic as this is for many of you, which we can see and feel, we would recommend that each one of you reach deep inside your heart and ask yourself, what do I believe? What is most important for me? What do I fixate on that isn't so important anymore? What do I stand up for? And understand this. We say, focus on what you feel is right and not what you feel is wrong with your neighbor. I ask, does it look like all of the US will be a police state or no? They say, there's going to be a change in the way that government is viewed, is run. There will be a change in leadership. And I ask, will this change happen soon? And they said, it will take 2 years, give or take. And that's always, you never know with time. Anyway, so I asked, will the jab passports be implemented? And they say, there will be a difference between law and what you would describe as mandate. And many will see mandate as law. There will be those that choose not to participate in the jab passport. And there are ways that they will be able to focus their energy so that they are able to create a reality within a reality. The jab passport will be implemented as a permanent fixture for some, but not a law for others. And for some, it will not affect them at all. And so I asked, so is it possible for a person to not participate because of what they focus on? And they said, yes, the collective reality is gaining momentum. So to be able to see some of these potential realities is because of the collective reality. As the next 2 years go forward, there are many who will have consciousness adjustments organically as it is their due time to do so. Even though there will be some that will not awaken, some that had not intended to awaken in this lifetime, and some do not want to awaken by choice. But the ones that will awaken will be enough to be able to help create a reality that will bypass what would be inevitable for the collective to experience. Is it possible to create a reality? It is possible to experience a reality based on what it is that you create. And so if you are focusing your energy on what you believe to be true for you, regardless of what the collective reality, you will be experiencing a reality that is so very different from one that is focused elsewhere. And the change in the dimensions will be very apparent in who and where one is focused at one time. And so I asked, well, tell me more about that. What do you mean? And they said, how we would explain it is that one could be focused on a reality based on fear, whereas another could be focused on another reality based on love. From a higher perspective, as they do this, they create that experience for themselves, and both could be looking at the very same thing and experience something very different. So I asked, is it possible to move into a different dimension right now? I've heard there's a lot of energy on the planet. If you can move into a different dimension, how do you do that? And they said, focus is the practice and part of it, but many humans don't realize that this occurs all day, every day, that there is a moment-to-moment jumping that occurs. This is where you experience things like, I put this down on the computer, I come back and it's gone and there's no one home. And they have just gone into a different dimension. But to focus yourself into a different reality, the momentum, the structure comes from a frequency of focus, a frequency of emotion, of intention, with a choosing of reaction, with a choosing of what I would like to experience, what I would like to see, even if that is not apparent at that moment, but choosing that frequency at any given situation and implementing that as your reaction, implementing that, especially in this time where manifestation is so high, non-confrontational energy. And as that frequency emits from you, from your light, your energy, your being, there's a structure that takes place, which if we were to explain this in the easiest way, is like an opening is created that you then enter into. And you may not realize or recognize anything different, with the exception of your reality is then bouncing back at you with the vibration and the frequency you were emitting. So I asked, so how do you do this? And they said, this is becoming quick, much faster momentum. Time is speeding up. And so we remind you that each moment is like a film strip. It's like a flash. Each moment gives you the opportunity to be who it is, who it is that you want to be, and what it is that you would like to experience. And each moment is an imprint that you are putting into the computer system for the grid in the earth. So choose carefully. I ask, what is the purpose of all the chaos, the mandates, the passports, etc.? And they said, there are many different levels. On a personal level, of course, it is for each individual to claim their belief, their sovereignty, and to be able to hold what it is most important to you, regardless of the pressure that you receive from the outside, as there will be much pressure. But this is not a choice of what's wrong and what's right, but a choice of what's wrong and what's right for you. And I asked, what if you're pressured, or what if you do something against your belief systems? Say you get the jab because of being pressured, will you be okay? And they said, just create a different experience. Of course you will be okay. What we would first say is that for all of those who are using the COVID or any other type of way to exit the planet, there is no difference between whether it is COVID or other ways to exit. An exit point is simply that, an exit point. And so if you were choosing to take the jab and die from it, we want you to understand that there is a timely choice there. And there would be a timeline where you would have the choice to exit in a different way. We also will say that not all that take the jab will die. Many will live and be perfectly fine. Side effects are personal, and if a person does not need one to teach them something, they will not be a match to one. There will be many opportunities for those to go through illness, opportunities for those to experience a choice of going against what they feel is right for them, because the adversity and going against what you feel is right, going against your will, those are some of the greatest lessons. Sounds a little harsh, but then I asked, could you tell me about the ascension? And they said, it's going as planned. And I asked, what is going as planned exactly? And they say, humanity and all those on earth, beings of many kind that have incarnated on earth at this time, have done so very bravely. And although many are not aware, all have such a very important position, important job to play, to be able to raise the consciousness of humanity through this period that does affect that of the universe around. It affects other planets and other beings on the planet. The importance of this happening at this time has always been and has been projected for billions of years. And the times of exit that the planet has taken in the past, we've always known that there would be rejuvenation. Yet the extinction of humanity on this timeline affects so many other systems. And therefore, that's why there has been so much help and trust from the other beings, benevolent beings. And I asked, why now? Why is this happening now? And they said, many reasons. Part of it has to do with the coordinates and the coordinates of Earth's placing. That we will say the energy is right. The substance around the planet is very supportive for Earth to pass through this gate, this threshold. It is an exchange of one system of what we will say barrier or control to a system of freedom. We could look at that in many different ways. There are many different ways that we could explain that, but the easiest answer that we would give is that now produces the very best fruit on the tree. So I asked, what will happen to people as this ascension happens? And they said, this is the ascension, the consciousness evolution, the human evolution, the human and technological evolution, the introduction of unseen technology, and the biggest growth of evolution at this time. And I asked, will humans know that this is happening? Will they be aware? And they said, eventually they will. There will be a time where humanity understands history, the history as it was written. And of course, I asked, when do you see this? And they said the next 10 years will be a great source of learning and expansion. So I just thought I would share that little clip. And it's every time I have a client, a higher self, and they have these same questions, they basically say the same things, that we are about to enter such an amazing time of living on earth. So hold the faith. I'm always given the message of peace and everything will be great. So I hope that this can give you that as well. And much love and blessings to everyone. Thank you.